And the record is live at day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. So far, there has been no mention of ISIS. Meanwhile, just a few hours ago, that horrific ISIS attack in France, an elderly priest murdered while saying Mass, and his savage killers forcing him to kneel, and then they slit his throat. Now, this vicious execution reportedly recorded by those terrorists. Former Florida Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Alan West goes on right. Good evening, sir. It's only day 2, and we're in the midst of another horrible terrorist attack, and these conventions are planned well in advance. Nonetheless, we've heard virtually nothing about ISIS, and maybe we'll get Secretary Clinton's plan Thursday night. But right now, everybody's talking about the fact that we haven't heard anything about terrorism. Your thoughts?
Well, it's very simple. It's good to be with you, Greta. Is that you're looking at a party that is not concerned about national security. As a matter of fact, coming out of the Republican convention, it was all about Donald Trump and the Republican convention being about doom and gloom, not about the reality on the ground. And when the president came out and gave his impromptu press conference last Friday, you had another terrorist attack in Germany. And as Rudy Giuliani said, we've had about 4 of those terrorist attacks in Germany in the last 8 days. And of course, we just had what happened in Paris, France. You have to accept responsibility. If you start to mention these things, you have to talk about a policy and a strategy. But right now, the Democrat Party is about compassion, unity, and love. As the Attorney General said, they're all about bridges over troubled water. So I guess the best thing is to send James Taylor or Paul Simon over to sing for ISIS, and maybe they'll start crying and amend their ways.
Well, you know, it is the only. I'm trying to think why we haven't heard about it, and the best I can come up with is early in the convention we haven't heard from the nominee herself or even the vice presidential nominee, and you know, so I'm thinking maybe we'll get that later in the week. Sort of the tough talk on what the plan is and how it will differ from President Obama's plan.
Well, I think last week in Cleveland, you saw the very first day the RNC had a theme of "Make America Safe Again." And they talked about these challenges we face domestically and also with the ISIS and really the global Islamic Jihad. And you don't hear that coming from the Democrat Party. As a matter of fact, tonight, you know, we have our law enforcement officers that are on the front lines of fighting against this domestic jihadist enemy, but yet they're going to talk to the mothers of the quote-unquote victims of police shootings and not the families of the slain police officers that are out there protecting us every day.
Which I don't get, because it would have been so easy to put the mothers of dead police officers.
But that's not what they want.
Well,
that's
I mean,
not what they want, Greta.
Well, if they want to have a big tent. You know,
well,
but
their big tent is defined with people that they can politically pander to in order to get their electoral patronage. And the law enforcement officers are not the group that they want. They want more victims. They want to stir up this racial division within the inner city communities. And that's why they're going to feature Michael Brown's mother. Michael Brown was a thug. Michael Brown assaulted a store owner, stole from him, and then assaulted a police officer. Now, why would the Democrat Party want to celebrate that person instead of celebrating our men and women in uniform and celebrating the members of the Thin Blue Line?
Colonel West, thank you. We'll see what happens the rest of the week here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.